What is nature versus nurture? There are terms that have been used as catchphrases for roles of hereditary and environment. Some scientists believe that humans act accordingly to genetic susceptibility or even animal instincts. This is known to be the nature aspect of the human behavior. The nurture aspect is that some of the other scientists argue that people act and think in different manners because that's what they are brought up and taught to do. According to research about the human genome, both sides are partially right. Nature provides us the ability and traits, and nurture takes care of the genes provided for us and transforms them in the process of our learning and maturing. Even though researchers have proven this, there's still always an ongoing debate through scientists about how much of who we are shaped by our genes and how much by the environment. The nature theory. We've known for many years that your genes make up your hair color, your eye color, etc. But the nature theory has questioned this by saying that genes and DNA also determine your personality, intelligence, aggression, sexual orientation. The behavioral gene is the main topic of the constant debate. A lot of researchers think that genetic arguments might be used to excuse criminal acts or justify divorce. If you have family genetics and musical, mathematical, verbal intelligence, it doesn't mean you will develop these potentials automatically. It means you have a chance of developing these genetics. But if you are not exposed to the gene, for example, a musical gene, if you are not exposed to the instruments and how to use them, that gene might not develop. Just like humans, faces, and hands, brains vary from different shapes and forms. We all, in a way, mold our brain and bodies according to our experiences or even our injuries. We exercise the different parts, and the architecture or structure of the different parts change based on our own development patterns. Just because we are born with genetic potential doesn't mean that we will flourish in that area. We have to be submerged in that specific area for it to develop, like music, math, gymnastics, etc. Therefore, you have to cultivate the gene that was given to you. That's why, for example, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo were cultivated in their potential by painting and exposing themselves to their genes. The nurture theory. Scientists that are for the nurture side believe that the way we behave develop from our surrounding environment of how we are brought up. The age group of infant and children have shown to prove in this theory. Nurture means your childhood and how you are raised. A child can be born with genes of normal height, but while being raised, he wasn't nourished well, which caused him to have problems growing and developing. Please watch this clip on a famous experiment that helped prove the nature theory by American psychologist John Watson.
But not everyone believes that biology is destiny. For many scientists, it's your experiences in life that count. Your upbringing, your education, your environment. Chief among these scientists is psychologist John Watson, who offers a theory that is the mirror opposite of eugenics.
This was the heyday of hereditarians and geneticists who said that human beings were constrained by their genetic inheritance. And Watson was saying that this is baloney, that human beings were shaped solely by their environment.
Over the years, Watson studies the behavior of babies, hundreds of them. To Watson, we arrive in the world a blank slate, tabula rasa. Nearly everything is learned. Even things we think are instinctual, like fear. To prove that environment is more powerful than genetics, Watson designs an experiment for an infant known as Little Albert. He's so confident, he films it for posterity. At first, Albert shows little fear, even when Watson places a burning newspaper in front of him. Albert is also unafraid when he encounters a white rat for the first time in his life. But then, Watson shows Albert the rat accompanied by a loud clanging noise. One of the few things that upsets little Albert. And he does it again. And does it again. Eventually, Albert learns to fear not just the rat, but all furry things, even without the loud noise. In Watson's mind, the little Albert experiment is a success because it proves that fears are learned, not inherited. Watson calls his theory behaviorism and begins to popularize it. He urges parents to take active control of their children's upbringing by shaping their environment. To think of the home as a scientific laboratory.
If the environment didn't help us develop skills and traits, then technically speaking, twins would not only be identical physically, also personality-wise. The big question is, do we act the way we do because of our genes we had before we were born or because of our experience?